Yo, welcome to the Statement Podcast. And I tell you something, we got someone in there today who I would say once a year, he's my rival.
Okay.
International DJ, big club DJ in London. He goes by the name of DJ Conspiracy.
Good. Conspiracy from South London. South London?
Yeah, man, South, man. Keep it always.
Representing the South, innit?
South, East, South, West, always.
Hey, it's a long time, though.
Yeah, well, go on, Dagz. Listen, my brother.
Yeah.
It's been a hot minute still. I need to come and check you on the north side of the border.
We say this all the time. We've got to make it happen, bro.
I know.
How are we going to start this? Like,
I think...
Let's start with your journey, man, because, I mean... I think a lot of people want to know about what the name is all about, though. You know what I mean?
know
like,
what?
was you like a stick-up kid, and you used to like? Are you like that guy from what's the Netflix program called?
Which one?
Lupin. You know,
I know you're talking, but I haven't seen it.
Nice.
Because I don't watch much TV, you know.
Okay.
I listen to music, work, gym, and do everything else. But in terms of the history, and especially that name came from just different situations in life. And I'd be like, nah, that's a conspiracy. Or even my bridgings around me with certain situations would happen. I'd be like, nah, that's just a conspiracy. Just a small group of collective of people. Could be, for example, going to school. I remember actually one lunch break. I went to school at Deptford Green and I'm walking along the high street and it was raining the day before. No, it was raining in the morning, apologies. And it must have been about £75 rolled up in water at the puddle at the side. Now I was at the back just ramping, kicking around with my bridgings were in front of me. And I've gone and picked up the water. So they've gone in front of me, but I've gone and picked up the money. So everyone's walked past the money, and then I've picked up, and they was like, "Nah, it's a conspiracy. How did you get it? How did you find it first?" But obviously, I patterned all my bridgings with lunch. Yeah. Them days, lunch was like £1 chicken and chips, so it was nothing. Yeah. But I'm like, yo, I've got this money rolled up in water, and I've obviously caught it because I was kicking around cans and whatever on the floor, and it was just so little situations would happen, good or bad. Not by my own doing, where they was like, that's a conspiracy. How did that happen? And then I made a remix when I was about 17. MC Hammer, You Got to Pray, and something else. And I was in my brother's house. And it was like, what a conspiracy. How you made that remix on vinyl? But just basically, you know, back in there on vinyls, you could have instrumental acapellas were available on vinyls as a standard procedure.
Yep.
My very first...
Way before stems. Way before stems.
Way before stems. So my very first R&B hip-hop single that I brought was You Got to Pray. And I had it for years from MC Hammer. And I'd made a dancehall remix live. And my brother said, what a conspiracy. How you do that? But then for some reason, I don't know why he said it. Obviously, he didn't roll around with me and my younger brethren, etc. Right, at school. And that's how it came. And then I had a sound clash when I was... About a couple of months later, I was still 17, and it was between me, my brother, one of his best friends, Tyrone, also known as Menace, and also, who else was there? I miss it, Roger, right? A guy named Roger, bad boy sound man, knows everything, can build speakers from nothing. Him and he's also Bridget and George. And it was like, what are you going to call yourself? Because I was like, because these times I've been collecting vinyls, amongst other things. I'd always been playing dancehall in the house. I've always been playing dancehall, especially when I got to my brother's house. My dad brought me up mostly on reggae, roots and culture, rare groove. So I just said, you know what, conspiracy. That's how, because it was just certain situations in my life between 14, 15, going up to 17, where it was just a phrase that we said for bants.
Was you ever a guy that actually believed in conspiracy theories?
You know, I read a lot and I listen to a lot, and I always have in general, like, okay, ask a question, why? And I remember my mum always saying that I asked why a lot. And like a wiser man turned around and said, a person that asks questions is a man that seeks wisdom and understanding. So there's kind of that link into it that I also look at as well. So they said, well, a very inquisitive child asking why for learning and understanding is kind of, you know what, it's kind of basically how I was. So it was like, it kind of worked in two and two together. And yeah, that's where kind of conspiracy originally stemmed from. School banter, basically.
Did you get in trouble for that a lot? Why? But why don't mommy? Why? Did you get in trouble with that?
Nah, you know, I tell you why, right? I tell you why, because it was exactly that, right? Because there was always a justification for the why.
Okay.
So I say, you know what? why did you choose to wear a green t-shirt today? Is it because X, Y, and Z?
Picking on
Right,
me. Picking on me.
directly. This is what I see,
Picking on me.
right? Because you're looking for the contrast.
Alright,
And
cool.
you get me? But no, I would always ask a following part of it, so to add context. So that's kind of where, that's where it came from still.
And you wasn't born in the UK?
Nah, I'm born in Jamaica, UE Hospital, Kingston, Jamaica.
All right.
Came over here about 6, 7, 8 years or something, so.
You sure it's UE Hospital? You just read that somewhere?
No,
and
that's
decided to put
University
that on,
Hospital.
what's it called? I mean,
University Hospital.
Proud of where it come from.
Proud, definitely. I fly
Oh,
Jamaica anywhere, everywhere. I am unapologetically Jamaican. I don't make spaghetti bolognese at home. I make jerk chicken. Right? That's not knocking spaghetti bolognese, by the way. But
I'm always gonna say something like some jerk chicken bolognese or something like that.
no.
Don't worry about
I
that.
never
Yeah,
remix it. I keep it. Everything is authentic Jamaican. Like I am. That's what I love. That's what I listen to. Barring smooth R&B majority of the time. I love everything about Jamaica. You can't tell me one bad thing.
So do you know the story why you actually, the reason why you came to England then?
You know, I kind of, and I kind of don't. So I know that I almost moved over to America.
Right.
And my mum made the last minute decision. She decided to move to England.
Okay.
She moved to England. So my mum she was a model. She also did accounting as well. And she chose just to change her life and come to England. Don't know the full on reason, to be fair. Never really asked. I was very much a humble child. If that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. So she came here. Then eventually I came over to England and back and forth between Jamaica and England.
Okay.
As well. But the key important questions, I've actually never really gone into arcs and probe into my mum. My dad's no longer here. He died a few years back, unfortunately. Rest in peace. But you get me? So, so I've never really ventured to why England. All I know is that I could have been in America and she just made a decision not to come to America, go to America.
Right.
And yeah, we're here. My grandma went to America. She moved to Miami. She lived by South Beach. My grandma was popping. She was like South Beach, like vibes from.
So she's still there now?
No, she died last January. I think it was last January.
Nanny as well.
Yeah, so last year. Was it last year? 2 years ago. 2 Januaries ago. Allow me, I texted.
Watch the Jamaican come out. Yeah.
But yeah, no, so we decided to come to England. And originally I lived in West London for about 3 weeks or so.
Oh wow.
That's my only ties to West. And then we moved to Brixton. So I grew up in Southwest predominantly. I remember I went to Loughborough Primary School. So Loughborough and Angeltown where I hanged out around. And then eventually I stayed within Brixton for a long time. Then we moved to Sydenham. And that's how I got into South East and college from there. And then realistically, when it came to the musical element, it was always in my household, if you're not playing outside, watching cricket, wasn't even watching football, it was watching cricket. It was playing music. And it was a thing of, I was, like how some kids back in the day, we may have been a remote control for our parents.
Yeah.
I was the one who turned over the vinyls. Right?
Okay.
So that's how it came in. So if my mum was listening to Lionel Richie, I would go and flip it from mum when she's listening to her souls, as he was calling it. And dad was always reggae, rare groove, lovers rock. So I was turning over the Sam Cooke vinyls, all the rest of it.
He wasn't playing dominoes because he didn't mention dominoes.
No, you know what? Dominoes in the family properly kicked in, to be honest, the latter stages in my 20s.
Okay.
But we never, it was, the daytime was, you're going to school, you come home, schoolwork, got brothers and sisters, make sure they're patterned, help them with their homework.
Yep.
And with this,
how many of you?
Brother, I've got about 2.5 million brothers and sisters.
Not in the same household, though.
No, not in the same household. So in our household,
Hold on, you mentioned dominoes. What about Ludo?
Oh, Ludo was
AKA
standard.
Ludo.
Ludo.
If you're Jamaican. Ludo.
That was different.
You're missing out. You're missing out.
My bad.
You're missing out bits.
My game was Ludo, Ludi.
Yeah.
So my dad, Rastaman.
Yeah.
So every Friday, we used to go to what we call the HQ, it was in Streatham. So in there's enough other Rasses in there. When I grew up with the other kids, and even 1 or 2 DJs come out of there. So friend Jammy D is a house DJ, or he plays a bit of everything. You may have heard of him.
Yeah, heard of him.
Me and Jammy D was know each other from young, and other selectors actually come from that establishment.
Sorry to cut you there, but I have to ask you this before was you originally a Ras?
Me? No, I was with a barlid Ras.
Okay, all right, go.
Yeah,
Back to where it was, sorry.
I had what we call a banner, which is red, gold and green. It's basically a hat.
Okay.
So going up as a youth, that's what man used to wear. And then we used to go every Friday.
You got a picture of that? I need
Huh?
to see a picture. We could post that
I-
as when we're posting up the trailer
mate.
for this. I need that picture there, right there. I need that picture.
I've got what? That's a long time ago. You know?
Find it. We'll send it over.
I know
We'll go over
exactly
to you.
which one as well. I can pattern still. Oh shit!
Was that how many siblings in the
Yeah.
house?
So it was me, my two sisters in Brixton. It was 4 of us, 4 kids.
Right.
Me, 2 younger sisters, and the youngest one was my brother. And then by the time I was moving up to Sydenham, if my memory serves me right, there's 1 more sister. My younger sister Sheba, and then eventually my big sister from Jamaica flew in and stayed with us.
Okay.
And then she ended up going to uni.
She emigrated.
So she literally, because she stayed in Jamaica since till she was like late teens.
Okay.
Right, so she stayed in Jamaica, and then she stayed there for a little while she was waiting for uni to kick in to do another year of uni and the rest of it. And then by the time we fling off we went to Sydenham. She's gone and done her business, and then we just made it work. You know, like humble beginnings. Like my mum changed her life.
I love them stories.
Lifestyle was patterned in Jamaica, nice, comfortable. Everything was nice, cleaner, everything.
Yeah.
And decided just to completely start from the beginning and come to England. You know, one of them ones when you got 2, 3 brothers and sisters in a bedroom. Obviously, we're young youths, not, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's brother and sister, top and tail business.
Yeah.
And then eventually get older, and then cool, you get your own space now, finally. And yeah, man, it was very, very, very humble beginnings. My mum worked hard, dad worked hard,
Okay.
but instilled in that fact, I just looked after the younger ones. And then the mute, so it was a thing of, cool, you train me and coach me and teach me, and then let me roll that into everyone else, systems and disciplines, like come home, food, homework, little bit of TV. When 5 o'clock, see like news round, it was at news round.
Blue Peter.
And Blue Peter,
Yeah.
see by Blue Peter, done. No TV, done. That's it, done. You know
So no Coronation Street here in
what Coronation?
EastEnders.
Who EastEnders? Who? No, you
I
see,
think I was in bed after that when you hear the song coming at the end.
no.
That's me.
It was
bedtime.
food, homework. So you finish school at 3:30, walk 15 minutes home. I remember, or just under, and then it was little snack. Not your main dinner, it's just a little snack, the light snack. Could be crackers and cheese, anything. Right? With Jamaican, anything.
Yeah.
Right? And then it was homework. Then quickly done your homework, a little piece of homework that it was. Then you got to watch, by the time it was 5 o'clock, I think it was news round on CITV, or you might catch the end of whatever was on TV channel.
BITV.
No, it's BBC. It was BBC. It was Blue Peter. Yeah, it wasn't IT. I didn't really like ITV. I can't even lie. It was
of the
BBC.
adverts.
Yeah.
Maybe the adverts.
I even know it was a cool advert probably, but it's watch news round, watch Blue Peter, and that was it. TV done.
Okay.
It was
What, the TV was off? Like
TV
turned off?
unless Dad wanted to watch something. TV. I didn't see no TV. I was go upstairs,
Wow.
get ready for your bed. Make sure your school uniform is done. Like my shoes was on point. You think I could kick out kickers? My mum would cuss.
Yeah.
Uniform ready up, read a book. Mum come home roughly by say 6:30. And then we pattern it.
This generation needs to watch this party, you know. 'cause
Brother,
this is
like,
how it was.
discipline
you know?
was
in
a
our
real
time,
thing.
This was it.
When
Real discipline.
my family, Seventh-day Adventists.
Yeah.
So when my gran comes over, my gran and granddad from the States, Friday, 7 o'clock, everything lock off. No music, no TV, nothing.
And your dad
That's
love her
Sabbath.
music. Your dad love her
Yeah.
music.
Relax, you got
Friday after 7 o'clock, Sabbath time, no music, no TV,
Yeah.
nothing.
I think I remember you. Yeah, I remember that, you know.
See, Friday was my only little small little turn up. So Monday to Thursday, that was the system. Mum come home 6:30, dinner, call bath, read the book, read your school, because you know the little school books you used to get, key stage read and all that. Read.
Blue hat, Jennifer yellow hat, whatever, Roger red hat, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Have to do that. And then Friday is when we went to the HQ. Now this is when music kicked in. So on a Friday, I could go there, get fried chicken dumpling, enough rastas in there. And then when in the music, we had a studio room, and you just got your vinyls. They had every single, when I'm talking about everything, 12 Tribe of Israel as a sound had everything.
With that dub sound.
Who was that?
So my dad was eventually a part of the sound, but there's multiple people, and then what happens is they pass it on to other generations as years go on, right? As people get older, or they pass, or whatever it may be. So there's currently some of the man them that run it now. Like they have everything, everything,
Every dub plate.
like everything. There is not one Sam Cooke, not one Luciano, not one Buju.
Okay, so you're talking about
just
like proper
Roots
45s
and
kind
yeah,
of thing.
prop
Okay.
45s,
Yeah.
dubs, white labels. You obviously remember back in the day. So you know, man would go yard. So the 12th tribe in Jamaica is a big place in Jamaica, and the man that will pattern will have every. I'm talking about music. I'm talking about everything. So my schooling came from what dad played in the house, not my big brothers yet. I'm going 12 tribes on a Friday, and I'm listening to roots and culture, everything. To be fair, not really rare groove. It was roots and culture, and reggae.
Can I ask you your first vinyl that you purchased personally?
My first vinyl that
It sounds like you got inherited a lot of music.
I inherited a lot.
So what did you go out and buy?
My very first,
And where did you go as well?
my very first soul, as we called it, was MC Hammer. As I was saying, you've got to pray, right? You got to pray just to make.
We were saying that off
today.
camera. It's the first time you're saying it now.
Yeah, oh, sorry, my bad. So my very first vinyl, my dad took me. It cost me £7. It was my birthday present. Went to Blacker Dreads Brixton. Him and Blacker Dread brethren at the time. So when
You
Blacker,
got Blacker, man.
yeah, for real.
You
Blacker,
get so much mentions on this
yeah,
podcast.
Blacker pattern man, nice. It was like, what do you want? And I didn't know who MC Hammer was. I can't lie, didn't know. My passions was not R&B, hip hop. That was new.
So you didn't watch Chart Show on a Saturday?
Bro,
TV was on a Saturday.
I know Top of the Pops. If I was lucky, yeah.
You would have been.
Right.
You would have been on top of the pops.
But I did not know R&B music. Yeah, you see when everyone's talking about the days when KRS-One,
Yeah.
I knew
Oh,
nothing.
you don't know. Okay.
I couldn't go on.
Was you not one of those guys who were on the playground with everybody else with singing the trending song, whether it was Pump Up the Jam or
Nope.
flipping Wake Me Up Before You Go? You wasn't one of those.
Brother, I knew nothing about Wham. I knew nothing about none of those people. I could tell you about every single Lovers Rock, Rare Groove, reggae tune going. I could tell you, I knew everything about it. I could tell you what color the label was, everything. And I got a little Lionel Richie thrown in, a little piece, my mum, a little vibe of that. Right. But I couldn't tell you none of that. And then what happened is I got a cousin named Michael. He lives in Australia now, right? But he had the Wu-Tangs, right? But I didn't even know
Faith
it was
Chambers.
Yeah, I didn't know nothing. Yeah, I didn't know nothing about who these people are. It's got Badware in it, so I ain't getting to hear that them tunes. I didn't Biggie and all the rest of them. I didn't really care. I didn't care. I didn't care about Young Jay-Z. I didn't care about Young Nas. And then obviously the likes of MTV Bass Drop. Obviously Lick with Trevor Nelson. Eventually, then you got the Box. That's when I started to learn a little bit about
Channel
Nas. Eventually Channel U.
Eventually,
right? So that's when I started picking up little bits and pieces.
You're quite like me.
Right? But reggae and all the rest of that's. Remember when I joined the city as a DJ? I don't know if you remember. I only played dancehall. I was a Jamaican playing dance. So when I played at Silks and Spice, if I wasn't hosting, I was playing only dancehall. Right? It was either me or Fab Vibes that used to do the first dancehall set. Right? Big up Fab, Jason, Nice Guy, and Sykes. Right?
That's like Fab Vibes.
Fab Vibes. So I only played dancehall. I didn't have my very first R&B CD was Donnell Jones, Lisa Left Eye Lopez. That was my very first CD. You know what's up. That was and the only reason is because I went Jamaica. I think it was 96. I went Jamaica or 95, and I heard it on the music channel in Jamaica.
Stop playing.
Right, and I loved the tune. I heard it once.
Yeah.
And when I'm telling you, I come back to England hunting that with my little peas going to Our Price, and I couldn't find it. I couldn't find the tune for months. And then that was October. I heard it. I remember because my little brother's birthday, the day I heard it. So it's the 29th of October. And the following
anniversary.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah. It is literally. So and then the following summer is when it finally came out. And then I saw it one night about 12 o'clock. My parents went out to whatever dance and myself were going, and I'm in the house. Turned on it, went downstairs, turned on the TV. I see the music video like at 12 o'clock on MTV. I was like, what? My song? I heard this in time. Listen, I waited. and a couple months later it dropped. Went Brixton, went and bought the CD, my very first actual CD. But in terms of my first vinyl, like I was saying, it was
Pray.
It was Pray. My very first dancehall 7 inches rhythm that I brought, not given, was Bookshelf.
Okay.
So I had Bookshelf rhythm. I went away to a camp for a week, right? I used to learn how to fly planes and stuff, and there was
As in actual planes?
actual real planes. I had it's now that invalid. I'd have to do training, but I used to have what's called a PPL, private pilot's license.
Okay.
So and I used to fly gliders and stuff. But I heard a tape from a sound called Dexterity Sound. And then they played. They're in Jamaica, or I think they're Jamaican sound or New York sound. Which one of the two? And I heard one. The only other guy that was there that was Jamaican had this tape, and then I heard Bookshelf rhythm, and he gave me his headphones. I was like, "Let me listen to it," because it was loud what he's playing. I was like, "What? Yo, I'm feeling this." Bookshelf was the first dancehall complete rhythm, 10 tracks or whatever it was, that I fell in love with. So my very first, when I got away from, I was in the Isle of Wight. When I left there, I went and bought it. It was green. I remember the sleeve
label.
on it. It was green. It was a green label, and then because it felt special to me, I bought a Jamaican sleeve, like hard sleeve. Because remember the hard sleeves were more expensive than the paper sleeve.
Yeah.
And then I bought that. Me and my brother rolled up, and we went and bought that, and that was my very first dancehall rhythm that I brought. I had more before.
Which shop?
I was dub vendor Clapham.
Okay.
I was dub vendor Clapham because Blacker never had all the pieces, and because my brother's brother-in-law, his name was Reds. Right, a lot of people may know. No, his name. He's that's another story.
Okay, cool.
But Reds used to work in dub vendor, and it's like, and my brother he used to get when everything drops. Reds will phone him and go, "Yo, listen, I got this rhythm, boom, 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 I got this. All right, cool, lock it away." So enough man will go places and listening to what's going on and see what other selectors are picking. Brother had it patterned. He didn't have to worry about nothing. He goes, just leave everything.
Wicked.
Drop him money. That's what he invested in. He's got 1,000,001 records, and that was my very first. That's 7 inches, and I bought all of them.
Okay.
But then before that, I had loads of rhythms before that. To be fair,
Big up Reds then, boy.
So you bought,
man launched you.
So you bought these records, and was you outside? Was you DJing anywhere? Or was it still house DJ or in the home? What was you buying the records for? What was the outcome?
It was just to play the music. I just
at home, right?
At home, or I'd go to my brother's,
right?
And I'd go to my brother's house and I'd carry my little records, like 10, 20, 50, 100, whatever. It would build up over time, and then I'll play at his house because he loved his music. Like he had a proper sound system, everything proper set, proper pattern. But then from slightly younger, being in as a Rasta youth, I'd go to different events with my dad. So dad used to take me to Manchester, Birmingham when the sound's playing, whatever. So I'd sit in, I'd help put all the stuff on the actual lorry, and then I'd get there to the event.
Oh, so you was working.
Right, I was working, and I was learning how to string
sound man. Yeah.
Literally, but I don't know what I'm doing. I was literally, but I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just
carrying
following
the boxes, carrying the speakers upstairs, downstairs.
All of that I'm talking from channels about 10, 11.
Wow.
Right, and I was sitting on a speaker when the event's going off. All the olders, they're doing their thing. These olders now, realistically, they're like 25, 35. They ain't really olders, but in they're olders. I had a Lucozade. I would have a Lucozade orange. Cause I didn't like the original. Certain people liked. And then
the hospital Lucozade.
I'd have a Lucozade, and that was definitely the pattern. Dad always packed me, obviously, get my food or whatever. And the second time I used to get away with a little cherry B, or a baby sham.
What?
So a snowball.
Well, bruv, you see these things there. You see, like, so I'd be like, yo, and it's like, yo, my, and it wasn't Dad that was doing it. It's his brethren that was doing it, and. Like we had they're all like my unofficial uncles, like brother Curly. That's like my uncle. That man, I love him to bits.
Yeah.
So a certain man would just pattern me and make sure, yo, you're good. And it's like, yeah, man. And we just listen. I'm watching everyone just doing their dance and whatever, and I'm listening to that young Budgie when he first dropped, young Beanie Man.
Yeah.
So I know I've got on vinyl. Yeah.
Mentioned Budgie.
I've got a Beanie Man vinyl, and I think Beanie was about 5. His very first single, he was young. And I'm
No,
talking,
I know
it was less than 10.
He's been doing his thing from
And I was
early.
I was lucky to even get that pattern, but
Mm.
it wasn't Beanie Man at the time. But I used to just listen. I don't know what these people are doing, but I just love the music, the beeline and whatever. And then even I never wanted to be a DJ. I didn't know nothing about DJ. I wanted to just play the music. Right? I like what I like. I want to play it.
So from you started collecting your music,
Yeah.
when is it you first got your very own record box?
Good question.
The actual physical, tangible box.
More than 10 records in there. Nah, it could be 10.
Nah, you know what? I had probably over 100 vinyls records before I got a box. And then I was inherited, I think I might have been about 16, 17.
Okay.
And my brother said, yo, take this is yours. And he made the box actually himself. And it was wooden. And it was brown wood, and he varnished it. He cut it out himself. You could slide off the top and then put your 7 inches in there.
Okay, so the first one was a 7-inch box.
It was a 7-inch box.
Okay.
Right. So my big one, like the MC Hammer, was a big vinyl, 12-inch vinyl. But even though I had that way before, but then so he made that and gifted me that.
Okay.
And gifted me all of the vinyls, and so that had Showtime rhythm.
Okay.
Right in there, that had Boom Blast rhythm. Right, you know, like Burn Out the Chichi, etc.
Okay, yeah.
So that had that rhythm in there. That had, and then eventually I started collecting more. But I remember I bought the Anthrax rhythm. I brought
Mad Ants.
I got Mad Ants on CD and vinyl.
Okay.
There's a lot of rhythms. I bought, do you guys know the Taliban Slam rhythm? And it had Gappy Ranks, not Gappy, you did Tubby T on it, remix on it. Tales of the Hood.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So there's a rhythm was called Taliban Slam. Bam, this one had the Taliban Slam.
Oh yeah.
So I've only heard a few people from West London only in the last few years replay it back as a rhythm. Big up Invasion, because I've heard them recently over the last few years playing it too. That was one of my favorites.
They're all gonna start playing it now.
But because I heard it out, and I think they was the first I heard replay it out. Right, and they played the Tales of the Hood, but I always like to play the whole, because the whole rhythm is sick. So I bought the whole. No, my brother gave me a couple, and I bought the rest.
Okay.
Right, and then I've heard other mans play it once since I heard them. Not saying they were the first, because I definitely played that when I was young. Right, but bring it back out, and yeah, but I had the most obscure rhythms and remixes. I was one of the first people in the UK interested to have "Give Me the Light" Busta Rhymes remix.
Okay.
Right, a man knew a man that was flying in America, got the remix, because I had the original before, but I had a remix version before without Busta, and then Busta was on it, and the man was like, cool, we're bringing over the DAT tape. By the way, I'm getting it pressed at Dub Vendor in Ladbroke Grove, right? They're only going to be doing X amount. It's nowhere else in the country. So Reds and my brother, right?
Yeah.
Cool, right? So Reds is my brother's brother. It was his brother-in-law.
Yeah.
It's like, they're only going to have a certain amount. What are you saying? You're on it? Listen, we drove from South real quick. I think I was in Brixton. Right? My brother lived in Catford. We drove from South all the way. Yeah, cool. I paid £15 for that.
To look at that, Joe,
And
all the way just to get a tune.
And then I got that one vinyl.
And them times that when you had exclusives.
Brother, I'm telling you, my brother basically threw a garden party just for me to play that one tune. Like it was like, cool, we got some new tunes, we're patterned, we're good, let's throw a garden party. We throw a party just for that one tune, and I bust up. Listen, no one could chat to me. I was like, what? I remember, who heard me play it? Was it Simple Simon? Someone heard me play it, and I was like, where you get that from? Don't worry about that, boy.
So I can't remember. I think I've said this on the podcast once before. So I had to wait until I can't remember which label it was, but I had to wait till the label sent me that. But I had interviewed Busta Rhymes.
Yeah.
And at the time, Busta Rhymes, like, when I was interviewing him, I was waiting for him. I used to always ask American artists, like, okay, so what do you think about doing a song with a Jamaican artist, blah, blah, blah. And some of them will say, yeah, I would do that, blah, blah, blah. I remember even, what's his name? Amarian must have sung Beanie Man's flipping One Pata Wata and Tree Sawala. And I was busting up. But anyway, Busta, when I asked Busta, he was like, yo, I love that. What did he use the word? What did they call Capleton at the end of the time? Fireman. He goes, yeah, man, the fireman. You know, I like the fireman. And at that time, I'm saying to myself, I think I asked him. I said, is this something that has been done already? I can't remember. But in my head, I'm saying to himself, I've got a feeling this is going to happen soon. But then all of a sudden, that song came out.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa. But I kind of got to understand afterwards the reason why it probably wasn't Capleton. Because Capleton did the song. Don't make me get dangerous. Who you calling nigga? Who you calling nigga? You think I am Busta Rhymes or Usher?
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? But then it was after that conversation with him, it wasn't long afterwards that the remix came out.
Yeah.
But it seems like he really wanted to do a proper dancehall song with one of the Yardmen. Yeah. That's what I mean.
Yeah, but Capleton didn't mean that in a derogatory way. It
True.
was just because of how the US slang, you can't call me as a Rasta man, they wouldn't
exactly
accept. Yeah, they wouldn't accept being called that.
And his thing might been like blatantly, because remember they're younger them times there. So ignorance when you're younger is so much different from when you're older. So he might have approached him and said, nah man, like you man, you talk nigga this, nigga that, I can't deal with you. Do you understand what I mean? Or he might have been a case of he said to him like, we can do a tune, but you can't use the N-word on any songs.
Yeah.
But
you don't hear them man do them thing there at all.
Nah.
At all. And that's probably why in the household, like I wasn't exposed to, you very rarely hear me swear a bad word.
Yeah.
So I wasn't exposed to it.
Even now?
But even now,
Yeah.
on the roads driving, right? You might
Road rage.
But it's more like Jamaican tones and dialects that I'm using.
Yeah.
But in general, you don't hear me swear. You don't really hear me. You don't really hear me swear too tough at all. Even in it's like there's enough words in the English dictionary to be able to not swear. But again, I don't knock anybody else. That's your business. But in general, you don't really, because and I grew up. I'm conditioned, or nature and nurture conditioned me to listening to reggae. I'm listening to Lovers. Like reggae was about standing up strong. You know what I mean? Being a
Peace,
good man.
love, happiness.
Peace, love, happiness.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Enough love song. If you listen to Sizzler, you know how much love song that man's got? Right? Like he's got a bag of love
Early
songs.
Sizzler.
Yeah, like a bag of them. Him and Woman and his Queen and Rere, you know what I mean? Thank You Mama,
Positive
isn't
messages.
especially. How much man nowadays will sing a song and say thank you mama. Even his recent single, I think it's called Something to Love. He's got a new single recently that just dropped about love again. Yeah, and then I remember actually he was my favorite reggae tune of all time. Right, and it's not even what a lot of people would think. It's on the Sunshine rhythm, and I've got the rhythm, and it's called Love or My Love from Sizzler on the Sunshine rhythm. And it just starts off with a very tropical instrumental, and it's like with the tune, slap way.
Listen to that shortly.
Slap way. As a tune, Jackill's on the rhythm and other people are on the rhythm. But as a tune, like positive, I said, if I ever get married, if I find the one and I get married, I'm gonna get a live PA flown in just for that one tune. I said the tune slaps. Because you can't fight love, no matter what.
Tell us how the song gonna sing it.
Nah, I mean, I'm a DJ. I'm a very good DJ, but I'm not a sing J.
I guarantee if it was one of the R&B songs, then you might give us a little something.
Why?
You know?
That tune, I find the tune. He must have that is not my talent and ability, but I know my talent. My talent is definitely not to sing. But Sunshine rhythm.
We're gonna look it up.
Don't worry, we'll find it.
So moving forward, then I want to get straight to like where you made your name, where you made your impact. Yeah. Who did you meet? Who bossed you?
Hold on. Did you actually join a sound?
No. I was like an honorary member.
Because what you find is that a lot of people, they ended up joining a sound first before they actually go in solo. So you didn't actually take that route at all.
No. So my brother had Sweet Success.
Okay.
Was a sound.
Hold on. Sweet Success.
Yes.
Now, are we saying there was two Sweet Successes? Because the Sweet Success we knew were from Tottenham.
Oh, this is a South lot.
Oh,
these are big man from South. These big man them from South. So
because these guys, remember, Sweet Success were older than us, and they were like in the what's it called it era? Justice era.
Yeah, no, it's two
So Sweet Success would have been.
common words that it put together.
And
it's
so these guys now would be
words.
between the ages of 49 and say 56 right now, roughly that kind of age range.
It is that age range.
So they were from, they're from South,
Uh-huh.
and they had Warrior and a certain man in there, and because Warrior worked at Dub Vendor,
Okay.
but in Forest Hill, if my memory serves me right, that's where the actual warehouse was before it got distributed. So when I'm turning it, them man, they had every tune.
Whose warehouse?
Dub Vendor's warehouse
David's warehouse. Okay.
was in Forest Hill, right? Before it comes in and they end up giving it out to different locations. I may giving that to people in business, you know. And
It's old school, so
right, yeah,
it's
this
like
is very
it's not
old
there
school.
yet
To be
now,
fair,
so it's
yeah.
all right,
No one's
yeah.
getting
This is
arrested. No one's getting arrested
this is
for it.
20 this is 20 years.
But
This is
cool.
20 years
20
ago.
plus.
Yeah, literally. So they had pattern with everything, and then because they had George and Roger, them man they can make speakers from nothing. George is a mad scientist, right? And he could just make speakers from nothing, right? And I think he's separate man that got involved in the sound from early.
Yeah.
My brother was a selector. Ika was a selector. My bigger brother Miles, he was the face, good selector, but he was the face of his little sound that he had separately as well. My brother Miles was the pretty boy, the Gallum favourite. Then I had Menace or Tyrone Slaughter. He was a part of it. And you've met Menace before. You both met Menace before. I don't know if you recollect when I used to do my first events. But you two have both been booked by me and Menace.
Okay.
Right? But yeah, and like Godfather will remember Menace and Tyrone. You know what I mean? We all become good close brethren and we did multiple events. But anyway, so I wasn't necessarily officially, but certain time like, yo, you want to come to and juggle some tune and rare. And then
What sound was that though?
that was, so there's two different sounds are really Sweet Success
Okay. Yeah.
and Jahite sound
Okay.
was two. And then I would, on a Friday night when I was at the HQ, I would play on 12 Tribes of Israel sound.
Okay.
So that's
Cool.
the one sound, yeah? But the UK branch. The big one is Jamaica.
Jamaica.
Right? So, but what really happened was I had bought, who remembers Home Mix? The little CD player. It's a CD DJ set, yeah?
No.
I'm sure there's people right now listening to this and know what it is, yeah?
If you show me what it looked like, I
Yeah,
would say
silver.
but I just don't know the actual what it's called, home mix.
Silver left and right, because I was like, the vinyl thing is long. So in my house, I wanted to practice skills because I'd never really trained on skills. I was always one vinyl, chop and change, whatever, or start one, stop one, go to the other. So most of these sound man couldn't mix. And I never said I wanted to mix. I just wanted to have a nice smooth transition from one to the other. Didn't care. I didn't know it was cool mixing. I didn't know nothing.
Yeah.
Right. So I got to find you home mix because when you see, I'm sure you're gonna know exactly what it is.
Okay.
Right. Argo sold it. I save up my little peas. Right. And
With the draws.
Right.
As in the draw system.
Oh, he didn't. No, my brother had the draw system when
Okay.
eventually, but I was like, no, I want to look like a DJ, like a you know the Jazzy Jeffers of the world or whatever, right? This was Home Mix, right? I'm sure, right? That's Home Mix. Argo sold it.
remember it vaguely.
Yeah, that's what Argo sold.
Vaguely.
Yeah,
Right.
brother.
£32.
Right now it's £32. Where's £32 then? It was probably about £200-300
Okay.
or something, so whatever it was. And I bought that, and then I started converting songs from the vinyl to CD. I used to go to Apollo in Sydenham. Apollo used to be like a Blockbusters, yeah?
Okay.
Like an Ends Blockbusters in Sydenham. And I used to use LimeWire on the computer because at home man had dial up, right? And, like, and the phone line thing.
Straight.
So man did a little piece what I could do, but then I went down there and they had the fast internet. Yeah, I had LimeWire. I was downloading it. So all the rhythms I already collected. So I'd written down all the names, went back and downloaded them. When I downloaded just bare music, everything I liked. Then get the CD, like buy blank CDs from the shop, get a pen, write it all down, practice on that. And then on my 18th, I decided to throw a party. It was £100 deposit. Yeah?
Where?
It was at Yamas in Catford,
Okay.
right? And it was a Mauritian guy that owned it. I said, I want to throw a party. He was like, are you sure? I was like, yeah, I want to throw a party. He's like, how many people are expecting? I was like, I don't know. I don't know nothing. But my brother goes, listen, I want to throw a party, 23rd of September. And it's my birthday, like 18th, whatever. Like, no problem, I got the sound pattern. I said, cool, you run your tune, do whatever you want to do. I'll network with people. But then I want to give myself a set. So now I built years of experience of playing music. And still didn't really know the hip hop and R&B thing. But I'm going to play a dancehall set. You get me? I was like, yo, I'm going to play this. And I practiced with timings. I didn't know how to count, nothing. It was all played by ear. Okay, how I learned to mix actually was singing. I used to sing the next song in my head.
Yeah.
And if it sounded
I
like...
think I did that as well.
Yeah,
I
you
did
see?
that as well.
Right?
I did that as well.
And that's how I learned to mix was thing. And that's how I envisioned what the next song could play like. So at my passion for a song, just think, okay, does that work? And I'm singing, no, that's too quick, that's too slow, whatever. And that's how I learned to mix.
Yeah.
And then I did my set on my 18th. So I told people at college, people turned up.
Okay.
It's a vibe, you get me? This is no social media. It's just me saying a couple of people in college, like, yeah, man's gonna have a party Saturday. Here's a place, here's a time, roll through, whatnot. And brother came through well for me, hit the bar spin, got my £100 back. You know what I mean? And that was my first party ever through, was my 18th.
Did you do a flyer for it?
I didn't do no flyers, word of mouth.
Text message?
BBM.
BBM.
It was BBM.
Okay.
Yeah, but very
Messenger.
early BBM.
Ping.
Right? Ping, yeah. That was extremely early BBM. Like BBM was transitioning into BBM. It was more like just couple conversations in college, right? Like on my birthday was September, I've gone from being 17 to 18. And that's how that worked. And yeah, BBM didn't really probably even kick off properly, to be fair, right? It was only I was always in the phone game, so I was always pattern different.
Do you know what's funny with that is the music industry, as in people behind the scenes, when you're talking about in Sony, Universal, blah blah blah, they had Blackberries for years before it actually became common knowledge on the streets.
Yep, agreed.
Do you know what I mean? Like you go to, like when I used to go to do the interviews, you go to you be in the studio with whoever the artist was, whether it was Buster, whether it was Cameron or whoever. Do you know what I mean? And they got this thing that they're doing in their hand, and it's just like a little computer.
Yeah, you didn't know where it was.
While we've got the regular phone that we're just looking at like this. Do you know what I mean? Where it's just like have it to you know what I mean? Have to hit three times to get C and blah 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 for sending a text. And they're like this, and I'm like, always like, what is that? I was confused. So before it actually like hit the market properly, the music industry, as in people behind the scenes, they were using BBM for like years before it really popped off on the streets.
Because it was a Canadian company, and so I've always been in like technology. That's been my thing. And the company was called Research in Motion. And when I saw it, I was like, no, I like this. This thing can text quick. So I always had two phones. I had my like 3210 or 3310 infrared, and as it goes on. And then I had my BlackBerry. So at the time, my original BlackBerry had a green screen. It wasn't even color.
Yeah.
And man had it just for notes and whatever. And man had it from early doors. But back to the party was mostly word of mouth. And people turned up, and I was like, yeah, cool, yeah, man, cool people. Even in college, man was downloading tracks online while burning it onto CD.
Yep.
I used to use floppy disk and put one song on a floppy disk because the floppy disk couldn't take a lot.
Yes.
Right, floppy disk was
floppy disk is like
3 megabytes or something dumb. And then I found I had to like chop an MP3 up on a floppy disk into like 3 MP3s if it was too big, but I really wanted the song or the rhythm. Listen, I went through hell to make my CD pouches, yeah, and then my party was it was shot, and then there was a girl named Carisha, right, that was in my college, and she heard it, was like, nah, man, you did well, and she booked me for a party on New Year's. So my first paid booking, I was 18 and 3 months, it was New Year's, right, of that, and I rolled out, and I remember prepping like mad, like I had like about a month prep to do for this girl's New Year's Eve party. My boy Ruben rolled up with me, and flipping, yeah, man. It was nice. She was like, yeah, just play how you played before, whatever. I want my dance hall, whatever I want to skank out. It's like, yeah. And the venue was in Lewisham. It was a pub that got converted into like a decent venue. And New Year's Eve is like my real anniversary of a paid booking.
Okay.
Right? Okay. It's always like my as a paid booking, where before, juggling sound my brother, 12 Tribes, whatever. And yeah, from then, I linked up with, following on from what you was asking before, I linked up with, I went on to radio.
What station?
I linked up with On Top.
Okay.
Early.
So On Top was your first station?
My first station. So before the New Year's Eve booking, between September through the party, right? The following day, I went out with my brethren Gavin and Suey. So Gavin and Suey knew each other, and Gavin was going to like Newcastle for a weekend or something. No, we were going to a theme park, wherever it was, and we booked out a hotel as well. And it was like, right, my mother's gonna let me go, because remember, I'm under strict, like I'm a yard you, Rasta you, but mum's like, cool, go forward. So I linked up with Gavin, met Suey there, whatever, going through, and we went and had fun as a man them do, hotel, whatever, and come back. But Suey's like, yeah, like run a radio station. I goes, right, I'm a DJ, still, like, but I never, again, mixing weren't necessarily I'd learned to mix and gotten better at it, and I was like, right, I could do some time. I know what I'm doing. Cool, calm. Never presented, never hosted, nothing. It's like, cool, no problem. I link up with a guy named Madness. We're based in, I think it was Vauxhall at the time, Oval, whatever. And I went on to radio. And Menace, because he'd done radio before, and bassline and power jam and everything else, he came with me to a few of them and said, cool, your pattern. So that's when the phone lines were blinging off. Man said that was a pull up.
Yep.
You get me? It had girls with the names like Baby Cakes 2015 or whatever her name was. Or was it 2015? It was like whatever the name was. Right? Yeah, you know that.
Baby Cake's Future.
Yeah,
That's what I mean.
Random Lady Buff Ting, you get me, South or whatever, random bare names. And these people, so that's when I started picking up the radio element of things and playing music. And that's when I really ventured into being more multi-genre, because I was just strictly dancehall. I didn't even, reggae was just a personal love, but I never necessarily played it. Played dancehall. And then I picked up the 4 packs of CDs. You need to buy the 4 pack and they have enough tunes on it.
Yeah.
Omar and Marcus used to rare. So I was like, right, this R&B thing's all right still, you know. I like this LL Cool J, Love You Better vibes and all the rest of it. Nah, man, this is kind of me. And I remember one time on radio, please no one banter me in the comments here.
Go on.
But I remember someone had seen me and gone, you're conspiracy, innit? I'm like, how in the world do you know? I haven't really played out yet. But they'd recognized my voice on radio. And this girl was like, you're kind of coolie, innit? It's like, what? I was like, cheers. And Menace was there. Menace is as well.
You, innit?
No, but he's coolie as well, isn't it?
Okay.
Oh yeah, and coolie is now it's perceived as also a derogatory term, but
Yeah.
basically people, for those that may not
If you're
understand,
Jamaican.
yeah, kind of certain kind of hair type and whatever, and skin complexion.
Black Indian
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
thing.
like a black Indian kind of Arawak vibe. And on the radio, some girls texting the line goes, big up like the Coolie Cartel, brother, banter. So then man got called on radio when Menace came with me on certain occasions. We was called the Coolie Cartel.
Oh, damn.
And I was like, really? Really? Conspiracy? Yeah, the Coolie Cartel. And radio, I put in a shift. So big up Suey, big up On Top for the opportunity. They definitely
massive big up.
They definitely put me on the game, got to know people, definitely. And then
Was that before Suey turned into Iron Napa?
oh yeah, that was before, way before that.
all
Way
right.
before Suey was doing his thing. To be fair, it was NAA. He was on NAA, him and Stamina, and they used to be on Trace at one time and stuff.
Yeah, that's right.
And I mean, them Stamina and
Put in a shift, man.
They did.
yeah, them boys
did.
work.
Man,
They work
salute.
like they're entrepreneurs. Like they've definitely they've set up careers for a lot of people. Have supported a lot of people. So definitely, I have to give them
And
their
still
flowers.
putting in the work.
Yeah. So he's out. I'm seeing Suey out every weekend in Night Town or Bexley Heath or wherever place he is, as well. So I've always got like the On Tops always have a permanent love, because from my radio experience, it started me, and I networked with Stamina and K, Top Boys at the time, and they booked me for an event. So the following year after the New Year's, called Can You Handle Your Drink, in a club called Deviate on Old Kent Road. It was next to, what name of the police car again? McDonald's, right? I was next door, and they put me on that, and I used to do roughly like 12:15 to 1 after Lionel Rich, she said. And they put me in a few of that, and that got me familiar with that. People started to get to know, oh, this brother's all right. Like, rare. You get me? That put me on, and Stamina and K definitely helped put me on things and seeing the opportunities there. And for no, you know, I mean,
Big up DJ K, man.
yeah. So like, very good technical DJ,
Yeah.
very, very good. And Stamina and K, Sue was the guy who opened up the doors and Madness, and then things just multiplied. And then I started doing my own events, but I've never done events for money. Like, I've never really done events for money. I'll be open and honest. Yeah. The events I've done in the 19 years, including my birthday, nothing's been about money and profit. Never. Yes, I'm business savvy. My business acumen's there, right? But it's always about, I want people to have a good time and listen to good music.
Wicked.
And the same energy that I had from a youth, wanting just to play good music. I didn't want to be a technical DJ. I had a cousin my cousin Carl, right? He was a bad boy technical DJ. He won before it was Red Bull, there was another competition on skills. He was like the number one DMC. He won DMC.
Okay.
Right? My cousin Carl won DMC, and he bad on vinyl, bad.
What was that, like the UK DMC or World DMC?
He did UK DMC. I don't know what else happened. I'll have
He
to
probably
speak to
qualified
him.
for the Worlds and
But he was bad. When I'm talking tricks on vinyls, man, he was the first person I saw take off trainers and use that to scratch. So before all these other people doing things now, he was mad. He was bad. Like needle drop. He did a trick when it was a needle drop. So say you've got 12-inch and there's 4 songs on a 12-inch. He knew how to precisely drop the beginning, no silence, of every single trap on the right beat. He just went boom, 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 done. Right? Right?
Dagz was the original wheel up needle drop. Boom, exactly where it's supposed to go.
And but the trick was he made it into a beat. So imagine you go boom, 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 like boom, like doom, doom, doom. Like he could do. He was. But again, that DMC world is a different world, different beast,
different. Yeah.
Right. So, anyway, that patterned me up to get into events, and I set up an event in. Actually, I'm missing something. I met Godfather. Right. I met Godfather.
Big up Godfather.
Yeah. So I think he had just started DJing.
What year is this?
Brother, this must have been January Star. This is like 16, 17 years ago. So I don't know what year this must have been now. 16, 17 years ago. I met Godfather
2000.
through Menace and Chippy. So Chippy is like, his name is Leon. He's one of my bigger brother's like best friends. So he's always been like a bigger brother to me. One of his best friends, right? And it's not even best friend, it's like a brother. They're brothers, right? So
you're talking 2007, 2008. I'm sure it must be before that.
No, I'm lying. I take it back.
It must be before that.
I take it back. You know what it is? I'm realizing radio and that time frame of starting events it's actually shorter. I think I must have been from. Oh my gosh, it's 20. Rah, it's longer. Yeah. My bad. My maths is off.
Yeah.
It was 20 years. 19. What year are we in? 2023?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. No. So I've been DJing 21 years as of September. Right? My first party being my birthday.
So 2002.
New Year's was my first paid booking. 20 years ago, I met Godfather. Right? And I started events. And we did Yamas.
Okay.
Right? So the same place I threw my birthday, the following year, we did Yamas, and we started to do events there.
What's Yamas like?
Yamas is now another. Basically, you go inside, and it's a restaurant, and then you go downstairs, and it's got like a club space that you can hire out for private birthdays, etc.
And I'm assuming this is in South as well.
This is in Catford, bro. It's Catford.
But isn't that was the same as what's it called as well in it, which is also in Catford. Riva.
Yeah, Riva's next door. Riva's next door.
Okay.
So
now I know.
I
never knew it as Yamas though, but I know the venues. Yeah. Like they're both next door.
They were next door, and we threw parties there. That's when I first.
But isn't Riva's downstairs as well?
Yeah, Riva's are downstairs as well. So Yamas is now, the name got changed to Meccan now.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
But so it's Meccan now.
Yeah.
And I'd done parties in there with them man there. We parties together. And I eventually linked up with Lloyd Life like 20 years ago through Godfather.
Okay.
So So Godfather brought me out to an event called So Deep,
Yep.
and he didn't have a host. And because I started radio, I got radio experience. I got more confident on a mic. So I started to host with Gods for Gods. Just like, I see right, there's people in there's vibes. He's like, Brendan, and he's always like, yo, bro, touch the mic, touch the mic. Right? It's like, cool, touch the mic.
Because that's how I originally knew you guys. Like, it was Godfather and Conspiracy.
Yeah, well, that's how it started. It's like, I'm at So Deep, I'm in my suit. You get me? Suit by from next to wherever it was. Right? I don't know why I bought a suit, but suit. I always used to wear a suit in my early days.
Was a So Deep dress up thing at them?
Yeah, shoes.
Yep.
Your shoes had to clang on the floor. Your proper shiny shoes. And then, yeah, man, and then it got to So Deep and I was like, yo, there's gyal in there, you know, and vibes and drink and there was smoke. These are days, clubs of smokers. You know what I mean? There was a ton of smoking clubs. So I was like, what going on? And
then start trouble. Didn't they get the hard soul shoe, the dress up thing from How to Be a Gent? I'm sure that I'm starting trouble, innit? I'm starting trouble in it. Tell Lloyd I'm starting trouble.
So big up, I have to give big up Lloyd Life. And that's when I first met you guys, or I've seen of you guys. I don't think we properly integrated, like in terms of networks, but I've seen and I've heard Wagwan. So I'm like, I don't know. If you're not from South, I don't know nothing.
Yeah.
I just know my world and I focus on my world and that's it, kept it moving.
Your own bubble.
And then, and then after...
Did smash the dance?
What, and with God's vibes was because God's played, I think, like 12:15 to 1:15.
Okay.
And then usually Fab Vibes come on and done an early dancehall. And then you lot were on later. You and Love Connection were the next two up.
Okay.
Right? I think if you Love Connection, maybe a garage DJ, possibly in the middle. Right? So you Love Connection finished.
At one time that would have been Scotty as well, wouldn't it? I swear Scotty did So Deep a few times.
Right? So there was a garage DJ. If say Love Cole finished you played before Love Cole. I think. Okay, it chop and changed. But it would have been Godfather, Fab Vibes. Well, Godfather and Conspiracy. He literally said Godfather and Conspiracy. Fab Vibes. Yeah. GEnts, Love Cole, and then whatever additional garage specialist it was. If my memory serves me right, stay me if I'm wrong.
Elliot Days would be on.
Yeah, Elliot Ness had been on some.
Yes.
Yeah. Elliot Ness had been on some days. Other people have been on some, and we did like that 12 something to just before, and then it was the first dancehall set, and I just hosted, and I was like, yo, this is vibes, and we set the trend. We didn't go outside the marker. We knew what time it was. I brought the energy, and I think because I had a yardie element to me, it was like this energy on the mic and vibes. And then eventually I started doing more events in the city. I booked you lot. Not for city, sorry, for South. So I said, cool, you lot do your thing in the city. We're not really into that. Like, I'll come here for the vibes and the people. Right? Lloyd started booking me. He used to give me the ticket books. I used to go around and sell shop tickets. He'd give me a commission, give me my wage and then give me a commission on the ticket sales and whatever else. And then I was like, no, I'm keeping to South. My people are in South. You lot come down to Riva. Done. Scribs was there. Buju was there. Big up Buju always and each and every time.
Yeah.
Right? And yeah, man, it was vibes. And we just did that. And then eventually Lloyd was like, look, I'm doing more things in the city. Like I'm going to book you. Right? I was like, cool. But he booked me for certain times to do the dancehall. So I still did the Soul Deeps because they were... But then when it came to doing... what's the name of the event he used to do at Corny and Barrow?
Who used to do that?
Lloyd, yeah. And one time he used to book out Richard Blackwood and other people he'd book. He used to do an event at Corny and Barrow.
It's gone over my head.
Mate, I'm going to remember it because I can remember the flyer in my head now. So he used to do Corny and Barrow. And then this thing basically started birthing so many different city events that I used to be on.
Is that about music?
No.
Okay.
But I know it when, like, if I hear it, I know it.
Yeah, it's gonna come up when you're not really thinking about it.
It'll come up. But yeah, it did. And then the city just for me blew up. So like likewise, every weekend I could be in one venue. You lot play after me, and then go to another venue, and then you lot like we link up.
It was back then.
Even probably cross each other while we're walking from one venue to the other kind of
Where you
thing.
going? Always I say, all right, cool, man, then link up.
So what was the first booking then? Let's get to that. For our first time you booked us. It was in South, you said.
I booked you in Catford
What was the
Riva.
name of the event?
It was Riva. It was Distinguished Affair. So that was something that me and Godfather and Chippy and Menace we put together. So that was basically saying, right, you don't have to go to the city and get dressed up. You can do it in the south.
Yeah.
Right. So I had obviously the taste of the experience of what the city looked like, and I think I'd been to Hackney Central. Is it Hackney Central?
Yep.
Yes.
So I'd been there and I was like, all right, cool, this is cool, but all right, cool, don't worry about that. Come to South. You're from South. I'm from South. Me and Godfather are from South, and Menace and Chippy. So this is to our thing. But you know what? The idea was, okay, how do we open our audience? Because we know we got South Nice.
Mm-hmm.
So let's bring in the North man them. So cool, we bring Lloyd from East.
Mm-hmm.
So we get them elements of people that will come down. Hope the aim was to, you lot drafting, okay, I've heard you play, so I've got no problem. Music was always my number one thing.
Mm-hmm.
If I didn't rate you musically to do a specific job, then like it's not gonna happen. So I was like, all right, cool. They're gonna play. They can play. Cool, no problem. What's the wages? Like Lloyd, find out the wages because I didn't have the relationship with you lot.
Yeah.
So Lloyd patterned it for man, and then cool. You lot came down. It was a long, slim flyer, yellow in the front. I need to send you lot the flyer. I've got the flyer. 1,000% got it. I know Godfather's got it too, right? And and then it went from there, and then. Eventually, we moved Distinguished the Fair Chippy.
So was that the one you was talking about? It was supposed to be me and him.
Yeah, no. So that's my birthday. So the following year, I really started venturing into the city now.
Okay.
And I created a brand called IOU.
Yes.
And then I hollered at Top Cats. I hollered at Tynos and Pleaser. I hollered at and Godfather, and I was like, yo, dog. Why city rare got venue paper mill, right? No one had used paper mill. Everyone was using silks, right?
Yeah.
So everyone was using silks, and then I was like, all right, cool. So the man them, we just look at it like that man's worked with. Now we've got a relationship.
But for the new people, them that is Silks and Spice, by the way, not Silks in South London. No. Silks and Spice.
Silks and Spice in the city, Queen Victoria Street.
Yep.
Right. And then we basically, I booked you, man, bruv. Man booked you. I was vexed with Dagz that day. It was my birthday.
What happened?
I had a black suit. I had a red scarf. It was my birthday. It was me and Godfather's birthday. And I was like, yo, dog, like, where's Dagz? Dagz ain't here. Then all I see is one mixed race don turn up. And I was like, who's this? He ain't part of GEnts. It weren't Budju. It weren't Scribs. Like, what's going on? I see Longers turn up.
Yeah.
It was you in a cast or something, like named DJ Slick. I was like, what? My man had a motorbike accident a week before in Ayia Napa or somewhere.
Okay.
And then I'm seeing like, he mashed up his hand.
Yeah.
I'm like, how's this brother gonna do? Like, nah, Dagz, you done me dirty, bro. Like, Dagz done me on my birthday, you know.
Yeah.
And the place was cut. The dance was nice. Like the set was nice. The car even forward the set. As long as you hosted.
Okay.
And yeah, you hosted, and he was like, this is young Slick. And I remember it, and also I was like, all right, Slick's cool. So afterwards, I was like, yeah. And that's how
because at that time we was like Slick was still new to the game kind of thing. He was a DJ, but that was when we had originally brought him into GEnts.
Yeah, that's
what I mean. So it was very much a case of like kind of training him at the same time. Do you know what I mean? To show him how music is supposed to be done in our world, where when you're young, you think the music thing is just play all the top 10 or, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I saw you coaching him. Sorry to cut you there. And I hope Slick don't mind me saying this, but the truth is the truth. I saw you in the set because I was watching. And like I said, I've never cared about the money thing, right? Money's just a prerequisite of hard work and determination. It was our people enjoying themselves.
Okay.
And what I watched you do to ensure that the set went well, right, is you coached him. Was like, no, hold on a second, let it breathe. People are singing. Like, I saw you coaching him. I was like, all right, cool. And I gained actually a respect for you. And I watched the fact that Slick took it in and didn't like, he literally done what you said to the T. I was watching it very carefully. I remember I was cussing Dagz to the Godfather. I was like, why don't they even turn up? This brother, like, get me, man, book him to the city and book him in Catford. And then man book him here and man not my Earth Strong, you get me?
I don't want that.
To be honest, I don't remember it too tough myself, to be honest. But like, I remember it. I do remember when Slick had his broken arm.
Yeah, I remember that.
I do remember that.
Well, but that might have been a couple times then, maybe.
This was the last Saturday in September, right? About 20 years ago. How was Slick? But maybe whenever Slick was 17.
He was, so 2007 we brought him through So it could have been 2007, 2008.
Yeah, it was.
Check that
It was
flyer.
new.
Check the flyer.
No,
Send that to me after we leave.
I've got the flyer. So, and then from then, I just churned out city events. So I eventually linked up. I redid Distinguished Affair. I linked up with Joe Complete, done Complete Affair. Right, when we calmed down that. So me, Godfather, linked up with Joe Complete, and we done that. Right, as a monthly, eventually quarterly, monthly event.
Who's that dude?
Joe's just living life, happy married man, living a good life.
Joe, man, he put in work still.
He did, bruv. Him, the complete team. Yeah. There was a team of them. Like they put in the work, so we did that, and then I did me, Rob 101, Days, Lloyd.
I said Rob 101.
Right.
You know, big up, Rob.
Phil Finker, like basically, eventually, all of us together combined and did a monthly event called In Sessions. Where Yulo was a residence on In Sessions.
You can't forget Nayaz.
Nayaz, yeah. Sweets, Nayaz.
Sweets.
So like, yeah, and because I remember he's booked me for his events as well. It's Soul Seduction? What I think it was Soul Seduction. But anyway, yeah, so Sweets as well. Big up Nayaz, always. And flipping, from there, it was a monthly event that we churned out. It was opposite the way of Silks and Spice.
Yeah, that's right.
It was doing its thing. I was happy. We had a house room.
Well, Grizzly part of that as well.
No, it was so the camps were south was me, right? Singularly south was me. Then you had east was Days and Rob.
Okay, then Rob.
Days, Rob Lloyd basically, and then who else was there? And he had Phil Finklap, which was west,
Okay.
right? But I was the south man, right? So because I've done obviously continuous events before in the past. Like the following was there, etc. And then I was able to bring people from South, and then I bring through my brethren because I also had IOU running as a quarterly event. I did 2 events for IOU. So basically, you buy a ticket, and then I used to do an IOU VIP. So if you bought a ticket, you'd get in guest list free before 12 to the next event, or at a reduced price.
Yeah, I remember.
Right, and that's how man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how you do it. My thing is like you give back, you invested. You paid at the time where tickets were £10, we're doing £12.50, £15, £20. Right, so we had a premium for our experience, but you got a kickback in the long run, which built up over loyalty over time as well. So that's how it works.
Also, get your people them in early as well.
Yeah, and it gets them in. Yeah, so and it worked out for us. And then, that was the city, and I was just there like every venue up and down for years. And
So
now,
can we fast forward?
yeah, go for it.
Because we've done a lot of the build up and that.
Yeah.
You've done international, haven't you?
Yes.
You're very busy.
My rival.
You're very busy. Let's get to that quickly and get through that.
All right.
Yeah, if we can start.
No,
with
of
the
course. So
international journey.
my first international booking was Dominican Republic, and I got a big up.
Oh, that was your first.
That was
international.
my first official being paid to fly out,
Yeah.
accommodation, patterned, looked after.
Okay.
I had done a few things beforehand, but there was like me going to network. They all said, right, yeah, come through. Okay, if you pay your thing, then we'll pay your wages when you get there, kind of thing. But this was like my first, like, okay, you know, here you go. Here's your deposit for your flight. I want you for X amount of time, wherever. So I used to do an event called, it was called Triple Hustle and Flow in the city. And those guys networked with some American promoters.
Who are the guys?
Right? Kevin, Leroy, and Leon.
The brothers.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, triple threat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Triple threat.
And yeah, always big up Kevin. It's his birthday as well, right?
yeah,
Like
Kevin.
literally today,
Oh,
right?
is it?
So
Yeah.
it's his birthday,
Big up
Kevin,
Kevin.
right? Kevin. So big up. And then I was like, yeah, but you know what? Conspiracy's my guy,
Yeah.
right? And then I was like, cool. And spoke to them. I was like, cool. We're gonna pattern Godfather to come in, but God couldn't make it for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And we also had, I think it was CK Flash. I think CK Flash was meant to join me, but they come over there, pattern. I went over there. I'm like, no, let me just be me in it. I was like, I'm in Dominican Republic. I've got all of these famous rappers and singers. They weren't called influencers back then, but you had girls that went at Starlights, which is like this Starlets in New York, and all these radio presenters. Right? I remember I'm meeting Mario's DJ. I'm meeting like Lloyd, like Mystical, and all of these people. And then I done my job basically. And big up Scotty, MC Scotty. He came over there. He was there as well.
That's
And right?
just come back from Antigua.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so Scotty knows about DR, bro.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, Scotty knows about DR. So it was there, and I just and they said, you know what? You've done your job. You're professional. You're on time. You want to come back next year? I was like, yes. And then what came from that though is that I was able to network with other people, other DJs in retrospect, some of these DJs I'm networking with are on Hot 97, Power 105, right? Shade 45, big up Superstar J, right? Like Shade 45, Big Tigger in V103 in Atlanta, and all these people, and they're like, yo, I need to come to Atlanta. Yo, like New York pattern weekend, you on it? Like recently I've been connecting a lot with Canada. I've been going Canada a lot. I went to Montreal this year. Last year I went to Toronto, whatever. So what's happened from
big.
that one thing, you do your job, you network.
Domino effect.
Right? A domino effect. So now I can turn around and say I've got Dubai, South Africa, India. I've done 6 bookings in India. Jamaica, I had the pleasure, and I got to salute Mr. Play, right, and Future and Patterning for me to do Dream Weekend. So I was able to tick that off, and I kept it quiet. They was like, Rod, you like, yo, you want to do it?
Is that this year?
That was last year, man.
Okay.
So go on my Instagram, go on my gram, you see the picture of me on the mic just in front of everyone warming up for Beanie Man on the mic. And Spice and like Beanie Man just there, and he's like, yo, McKing, yeah, but I was like, yo, it's like, and I had that, and last year there was
moments, man.
Wow, moment, and I didn't
innit?
expect it, but I wanted to keep it quiet. And then that year they had Invasion and Pure Vibes, really the kind of first influence of UK DJs being over there as well.
Right, yeah,
So it was good to see that me, Pure Vibes, the man that were there, the supporting and backing. I was like, yo, man, do that. Yeah, and it was good, and I just kept it quiet, and then the ting pattern, and it worked out, and it was an experience. I can tick it off.
Yeah.
But from there, bro, the world's been my oyster, bro. And then going to Turkey Weekender, and the guys putting me on that, amongst other things, and now I've been like, I can turn down international bookings.
So you're not putting on your own events, so to speak, nowadays.
So
it's more you're concentrating on the DJ world, playing out.
That's right. So I did start something called Last Sundays last year, October, which I done in Silks, with the Silks team.
I remember when you did that.
Right,
Yeah.
and we did that, and just doing it nice, something for the people locally, right, to come and have a vibe and, you know, have a cocktail and 2 for 1, 2 for 1s and all that jazz. But that's more for the people. Okay, not necessarily done for money per se, but to give people something to go to, because there isn't no mint bar in South as places we used to go to, right? And I used to DJ. I did a weekly in there with Larizzle, right, on a Sunday. So it was yeah, but like, you get me, doing these things, bad boy producer, especially in the Ammo Tipper as well. So me and him used to do a thing on there, and it worked out like every week. Nice vibes, mint bar, straight nice. So I started to say to myself, right, man, can just recreate that vibe back in the southeasterly side of the pond, and it's just working out. So I'm going to be really bringing it back. To be fair, probably draft a man to come through, and then to be fair, the other elements of what I've been working on very quietly this year is doing things to give back to people. So as long as it's supported, we did 20, Pleaser and I did, and other set of DJs as well, and the community supporting. We did 24 to 24 in lockdown.
Yes.
Where it's money for charity. So DJs came through, done 24. I done a set for an hour.
That was C6 was talking about.
C6 done it with me. He done it. He's
done
DJ.
Whole 24 hours.
Yeah.
Set.
Oh no, he done it.
He done his own
individually.
one.
So after we done that, he done his own. So we did 24 hours. We done a 48 hours. We also brought in a lot of the younger DJs. So
Taylor Ray did.
Taylor Ray came and done a set. Right. And
Taylor Ray.
we did a specific one in September, just for people. I think it was like between under 15, over 13, etc. So we ended up doing stuff like that, and just putting other people in an opportunity. If I could, like, God has blessed me, innit? I'm a young boy from Jamaica, right? That my mum chose to change her lifestyle, right? From having maid and cleaner and all them things to going to council estate in Brixton, right? And, you know, brothers and sisters in one little room and all them kind of things. So the fact of I'm still here, and I give God thanks to the fact that I've still got a life, and I do okay. Yeah, I do okay. If we look at the average of the UK, God has blessed me.
Definitely.
So my thing is, can we give the resources back to those people who don't have that, and what can we do? The one thing I do know how to do is organize and play music. Right? And I love music.
And you're good at it, mate. You're good
Oh,
at it, bro.
thank you.
You're good at it, bro.
Muchas gracias, amigo.
Right, so we're gonna kind of wrap it up shortly.
So
We started late today.
So when we was talking about the rivalry, because that's what people don't realize what it is, right?
Guy.
Yeah.
You and this
What-
rivalry.
No. It's
Every
not a big
year,
thing.
you know, every
But
May
reason
the
why I
brother
said
wants
to
to
him,
challenge
what I
you.
said to him is the reason why I say it's rivalry is because he's in DR and I'm in Mexico at the same time. That's why I was talking about rivalry. It's not a real rivalry. It's not a real rivalry.
It's not a real-
It's just
that
something that I
long
got before I brought up. Do you know what I mean?
Competitors.
It makes the intro more interesting.
Okay.
I
You
will
know?
say this, yeah, and I give Longers his flowers where it is. When Longers on a comedy club on a Sunday was the first, for me, non-African to play Afrobeats, right? The only reason I started to play Afrobeats, I won't say the only reason, a big influence because he played one tune, which was Teaser and M-Pipe. I'm a gal pleaser, big booty teaser, looking for a teaser. And I thought it was Sean Paul because the way they sound.
Okay.
So I was like, I walked up to him, I was like, what's this? And he was like, rah. And I'm hearing, and then the tune's bad, it's a vibe, right? 100% it's a vibe.
Originally, I thought it was Wizkid.
Right. I didn't, but do you think I knew who Wizkid was?
Yeah, good point.
Listen, I thought it was Sean Paul.
Yeah.
But one thing I used to like, and big up Kojo and the comedy, like that was the place on a Sunday, right?
Yeah,
and it was what I used to have in admiration was his skill. Like technically, long as I was like, cool. There was K doing his thing, but by this time I didn't really see K. Like he was doing his thing, but so someone that could come every week. Me and my brethren, either Rory or there's other people that used to
Rory,
right. Man, we used to pop down on a Sunday, or my friend Patterson and other people every Sunday would come to comedy club, and I see Longers scratching from early, and I wasn't into that world scratching it. I was just happy that I could mix fast, and blend transitions perfect to get me.
Yeah.
Don't need no laptop screen. This was just CDs and juggle and doing it.
Yeah.
But he can. I had to give him cues. I was like, you know what? Long as it's the man, because he wasn't afraid at the comedy club to play new music and also demonstrate his skill set, like the actual technical DJ art element to it. So you know what, my brother, I have to give you that. Even though every May I beat you, every May I beat you, every May I beat you. And you and Scotty B.
I got to make International watch this.
Yeah, I was like, obviously the thing's different. It's
a family thing, man. It's a family thing.
Yeah, it's a
good.
different event.
Yeah.
You know, I would love to come to Cancun, but right now I can't lie.
Yeah.
DR's got me patterned nice.
Yeah.
I get picked up in
I don't blame
helicopter.
you.
I hear you.
Brother, Shugs, you know Shugs, innit? Yeah, bro. We get picked up in helicopter
What?
or limo or whatever
What?
it is.
Yeah.
Man got villa and 5-6 bedroom, man. Brother.
See, for those out there thinking the DJ's an idiot thing, like I'm not
Nah.
getting into I don't want to be no DJ. You see what's going on over it.
And DJing is
Helicopter,
world.
you know.
brother,
There's a
DJing
different
has
world.
taken me around the world, network with people, got new set of friends internationally from multi different languages. It opens up your horizon and you realize how small we are. Like I find it crazy when I continuously DJ to the same audience all the time. Cool, they know you and I love them, right? And they've rolled with me and rocked with me for years, right? 21 years, right? But some long time. But the point is, I like a new audience, right? And because of the international opportunity has spawned in so many other different countries from it.
Amen.
Before UK promoters were taking people abroad, like I can say, there's only a handful of people, English Flyer play longers in our scene, right? That was real. And when I say a real international DJ, they were paid by somebody that doesn't live here to fly to another country to perform to an audience that either don't speak English or they just don't understand the culture of the English culture. And we was like 10 years ago. So big up them
Big
man
up.
there. And
Big up.
everyone
Big up.
else
Big
doing
up.
their thing. You get me?
Respect.
Cons,
Respect.
My bro?
honor, as
Yeah.
usual. It's always an honor. You know, it's always
Man
love.
has love and respect.
Always
you get
love.
me? Man has
Anytime we
love.
buck up. So
Respect,
we're
bro.
gonna leave it there.
And I know there's stuff that's missing. But
Yeah,
you know how it goes. You know how it goes.
Lots of stuff. But you know, there's no. It's not like you can't come back again. You know,
Yeah,
you can't afford back. So
it's there,
it's other
bro.
nothing.
There's a ton of stuff we made, but then remember we've all got 20 plus years in the game.
So yeah, we can't squeeze that into a little
Yeah.
hour and a half.
Again, we've got to make a statement. You see?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Cons, respect my bro.
Cool, man.
Thanks
Easy.
for your time.
Dagz, I appreciate
it's a long journey as well down these sides. So
Helicopter ride. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
blessings.
I'm not in DR, bro. Like, yes, you know. I'm just
love
Ladies
family.
and gentlemen,
Log a sign out for me, please.
DJ Conspiracy.
Thank you.
Link up again soon, yeah? Stay,
Peace.
man. Boom.
Yeah, man.